Hello, everybody. I don't normally create videos unless I have something to talk about. So is the case this time. I am sometimes, I was thinking about overnight, my last video and a few other videos. I'm thinking maybe I'm the what they call controlled opposition. Maybe I'm, as they this term gets used a lot on the internet, social media, especially YouTube. But maybe I'm a shill because I create these videos that are um, at least questioning the mainstream story, leaked, unverified. That was my last video document predicting the second wave or second wave phase two lockdown by October 2020. It goes through the testing, it questions the testing. I wouldn't say criticizes it. So I'm thinking, how is it possible that my video hasn't been not that I'm feeling all that important and big channel that they need to take it down because millions and millions of people are watching it. Quite the opposite. But they have taken videos down. They had fewer views. But it's very hard not to talk about it. It's just impossible. It's everywhere. The thing is, it looks like it's going to be around for many years to come. It may be one of those things that never gets out of our minds, and I suppose never will, like the September 11 and the whole story about what happened there and what we had to comply with thereafter when we're flying, when we doing pretty much everything in our lives. It changed it overnight. So I think this is going to do the same thing. One thing I never do is I never advocate to cause trouble for yourself or anyone else. Avoidance is the best way to go about it. By the way, this was my last weekend at the farm down past Goulburn. It was very wet. We got stuck, so we had to find the alternative way to get back into the shed. Again, I don't want to waste your time, but just quickly, and that's how wet it was. That was before the rain started. Uh, and it was fun enough that I want to do it again, and or before they lock us down again. Preferably, I'd want to fly up to the Broadbeach Gold Coast, stay there for a few days, maybe 4 or 5 days as I normally do, but I just can't risk it. You book your flights. You by the time you fly, they have changed the rules and you become a stranger in your own country just because you're over the border, some administrative border. And then when you come back, that could also be challenging. So I don't want to be having to self quarantine myself. However, having said that, this is what I've picked up from one of the very interesting Aussie channels. And if you're watching my channel, you're probably likely, or some of you at least, to have come across this Liability Mate channel. I think they must be based out of Victoria, and rightly so, because Victoria seems to be the testing ground for what's coming to the rest of Australia and quite possibly the rest of the world. Not that there aren't any places like the United States where it's already worse or just as bad as it is in Victoria as far as the lockdowns. But having said that, this is what I've learned from this channel. Different contributors. I'll paste the link in the description just so you have it since I'm talking about it. One of the um, most interesting videos I watched is this guy that is pulled over by cops and how he deals with it and how he. I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't watched it. That's the one. Um, how he let's say gets away with it at least the phase one, but then what happens afterwards we don't really know. So just to be fair. But avoidance is the best thing you can do. Complying when you need to, if it's safe enough, if you think it's right. Um, Now, when it comes to that, no, I haven't got gone bonkers, but maybe I'm on the way there, like many of us, I think. Some of the useful screenshots I got from some of the videos is that Section 109, apparently, of the Commonwealth Constitution provides that where a state law is inconsistent with the Commonwealth law, then that the state law is invalid. Apparently, it's something that happened in a court case that can be called upon when you need to kind of defend yourself. But I'm just saying, Speaking of some of the useful screenshots, wanting legalese, I don't know, I haven't looked into it deeply, but you'll come across some of these channels where if you call it a vehicle or a car, it's a trick. Apparently, it's an automobile. Speaking of which, this is that video that I was talking to you about. Again, I'll post a link in there. It's from that same channel, Liability Mate. Guy smashes cops checkpoint. Again, I don't advocate you do this, but it's important to see that what seems to be a done deal, what seems to be a quote unquote law, it may not be if you present yourself appropriately. The only other thing I will again say the best thing to do is avoidance. I don't want to talk about this video because I'll ruin it or spoil it for you if you haven't seen it already. But it's at least entertaining. It's serious. It could be serious. Again, stay within the law. Speaking of which, apparently, again, I haven't done all the research. I'm just using somebody else's information whose channel link I'm going to paste below. So take my word, don't take my word for it, huge grain of salt. If you want to investigate more, research more, and actually confirm that this is true, I'd like it to be true. Apparently, these things that, let's just call them things that are happening in Victoria at the moment, are rules and regulations. And apparently, according to, sorry, got interrupted. I'm not sure what I said, what I didn't, but rules and regulations apparently are not laws according to the Constitution. So you could, I don't know, respond that way. What's a little bit annoying is that people don't seem to be at least questioning it. Using their own reason, here in New South Wales, the laws are, or rules and regulations apparently are still not as strict yet. I've got friends, for example, one friend to keep everybody's, relationship status and privacy and everything else in check, or at least private, is quarantining and not leaving anywhere because the flatmate would prefer that nobody goes out because of obvious reasons, that the situation that we're in. So now, but the obvious question here is that as long as this goes on, or at least they're talking about it, and there's few cases here and there, whatever the story behind all of this is, and unfortunately maybe deaths. Are you going to stay indoors? I mean, it's impossible. I mean, you just definitely don't want to do that. So that's a little bit annoying because it affects me. There are people I might want to see and, do all the physical distancing that is necessary, but no, some people just won't even leave the house. So that, limits the options for those people, but those people include myself, which means that I've got limited options as to who I can catch up with, given that we currently work from home and are not really interacting with as many people as we used to. I still do, but not as many as we used to. As far as the markets, I think that the smart money is pulling out, at least for now. Everything goes up and down, and I think the next leg is down. The smart money is pulling out. Unfortunately, I hope I wasn't part of it when I said that in the future Aussies will be investing differently, where they might have 5, 10, 20, 50, $100,000 in the bank account, and instead of looking to put down a deposit for an investment house or even their own house, they'll keep that money, and whatever they have or they can afford to kind of lose, put it into the stock market. I hope that's not what's happening now. Everyone's talking how the retail investors are piling in with their money through the very many new brokerage accounts. That once again doesn't mean that they're being used for a lot of investments, but I really urge everyone to be very careful with this market. Everyone is saying it's toppy. I do know that shares like Tesla, for example, were looking toppy in Amazon's many moons ago, but it kept going up. So it's not impossible that this is going to continue to go up, but it's much more likely. So the risk is on the downside. So it's much more likely that it'll pull back before it ever starts coming back up, because the economy is shot. There's going to be carnage. A lot of unemployed people. The job keeper is still going. It's going to be wound back, and when that happens, if you don't have a job, you don't have a job, no matter what the interest rate is. Yeah, so there will be a time to adopt this new investment mindset in Australia. Again, moving away from gathering hopefully $100,000 or $200,000 and then getting a mortgage of another million or so to buy a house. Instead, working with the money that you already have, uh, and the only way you can do that is to be precious metals, of course, that's taking off, and gold and silver, especially silver. Will it continue to go up? Well, it'll go up and down, but I think the trend from here on, because it was, especially silver, was an absolute production cost bottom, will go up. Does that mean you pile into silver as much as you can? No, but does that mean you should have some of it, physical, especially? Of course, yes, why not? Gold also, although I am, this has been the understanding, but I am being informed that silver is looking like a much better bet if you're going to go precious metals way as far as the percentage rise. But in any case, this is the market today. So if I refresh, and we are nearly the end of the month, 29th of July 2020. It's just marginally down, but you got many other channels like ComSec or others that can give you, 3 updates a day for this sort of stuff. Long term, it'll have to have a dip before it comes back up, because again, economy's really not going anywhere. The world economy. Is anyone traveling? Can someone tell me? Anyone? Any viewers? What country you went to last, if any other overseas country, since the March, that you went and a return trip, or are thinking about going in the next couple of months? I know that's not me. Again, I can't even go up to Queensland. I just have no confidence they'll let me back in, which could be a good thing for New South Wales, but I don't know. I'm obviously being facetious, but there's nothing left to do but maybe see the funny side of it and keep safe and out of trouble. Again, avoiding any bugs, bacteria, the viruses, and any confrontation with the law, the police. But if somebody pushes you, unnecessarily, you might want to arm yourself with information that could help you. Again, we are not, most of us are not equipped with the knowledge or money or will to go and go through the court system, or just start disputing fines and that. So you're better off staying out of it. But if you have to, just you got to start somewhere, and it's good to be informed. That's how I like to keep it. And believe me, I don't get my updates and knowledge from the mainstream, as you probably know. Okay, this was much longer than I thought it would be for this 29th of July 2020. I will end the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll keep in touch. Hopefully we got some good news about all sorts of different things. I'll keep you posted. Thank you. Bye for now.